It is a specific kind of frustration. You walk away from a discussion with facts and logic on your side, yet you feel utterly defeated. You were likely surrounded by the loudest voices in the room, people who use aggression as a proxy for confidence to dominate the environment. Most of us are taught that truth is something to be defended tooth and nail. We treat every single conversation like a battlefield, a place where the last one speaking is the one who wins. But the urge to explain yourself is actually a white flag. It signals a fragile ego seeking validation from the very people trying to undermine it. By choosing to argue, you've already accepted their terms. Many try to escape this by retreating into quietness, convincing themselves that swallowing their anger is a sign of true maturity, or simply a way of keeping the peace. Nietzsche saw this as herd morality. It isn't balance, it's a form of domesticated surrender, driven by the fear of being cast out. Social manipulators recognize this yearling silence instantly. They occupy the space you vacate, pushing their agendas further into the boundaries you've refused to defend. Real victory begins when the need to enter the ring disappears entirely. Nietzsche proposed the ideal of the Übermensch, a rare individual who refuses to react. This person shapes their world through self-mastery rather than emotional reflex. A verbal attack functions on the expectation of resistance. The aggressor needs an emotional wall to push against. It is the only way they can feel the weight of their own dominance. When that expected resistance vanishes, the attacker loses their footing. The sudden absence of a target forces the brain into a state of high alert, shifting from aggressive certainty to an anxious search for a new anchor. Silence turns the environment into a mirror. Forced to hear only their own voice, the speaker begins to project their hidden insecurities onto you, filling the quiet with their own doubts. This intentional absence of response is a lethal maneuver. It forces the opponent to unmask their own weakness without you saying a single word. This process starts with killing the internal impulse to justify your existence. Refusing to offer an explanation is the first step in reclaiming control. While others scramble to fill the air with noise, you listen like a hunter. You are tracking the subtle contradictions and the fears buried beneath their rhetoric. You then weaponize the pause. Stretching the time between their words and your reaction creates a tension that allows their own paranoia to flourish. By refusing to play the reactive role society expects, you become unpredictable. In any interaction, the person who cannot be predicted becomes the center of gravity. Utilizing these tactics inverts the power dynamic entirely. You move from being a target to the one who dictates the terms of the encounter. Silence is a physical presence. It acts as a boundary that others are forced to respect. Nietzsche described the will to power not as a desire to control others, but as an internal state where the need for external validation has ceased to exist. There is the silence of the slave, which shrinks and apologizes, and there is the silence of the master, which remains unbroken even in the center of chaos. Stop letting the noise of others dictate your narrative. Adopt the posture of one who has secured the victory long before the battle begins. While some feel the need to shout for recognition, those who understand their own worth can govern a room without speaking a word.